please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
To those guests who've just joined us, welcome. Our next stop is the Magic Kingdom. Ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching our station at the entrance to Main Street, USA, gateway to the 7 theme lands of the Magic Kingdom.
Welcome aboard the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. This is Justin Monorail, and this is episode number 207 of the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. Today's June 24th. If you're listening on drop day, this is the year 2024, if you're having trouble keeping track of time like the rest of us. And we are here to celebrate theme parks all across Central Florida with news and then a very special segment at the end. You all love it. It's coming back. This is the second time we've done it since we've resurrected it. That's right. Fastpass, standby, snack break. But you're going to have to stand by and wait for that. And in order to get to all this goodness, I have to welcome in my wonderful co-hosts. So let's start with the one and only Landon, the Dawes Doan. Landon, welcome back to the Monorail. How you doing?
Not too bad. Hi, everybody, coming in from the isolation station love. It's me, it's the DOZ, Landon the Dawes Doan, and it's a Monday morning, and you know, in this instance, it means that I'm the new owner of an air fryer, guys, and I gotta say, air fryers, they live up to the hype.
This is your first time owning an air fryer?
First time ever. I've held out on joining that cult, and I have to say this is one of the more prosperous cults that I've ever joined.
Wow.
Love it so far.
You really held out. Do you also own an Instapot, or are you still like staying away from
No. I have never owned an Instapot, and the reason I have never joined that cult is I'm terrified I would accidentally explode myself because, I mean, let's be honest. Y'all know me, still same old G. There would be like a 40% chance I would kill myself trying to make like what Instapots can make, like, oh, you can make your own yogurt. Yeah, well, I accidentally made my own explosive device in my kitchen. Not worth it, Minion.
I think there was an episode of Shameless that was all about like somebody burning down a house because they left their Instant Pot plugged in or something. But I've never watched that show. I'm gonna welcome in our next co-host because maybe she has and she can clarify. So let's bring her in right now. It's Stephers. Stephers, are you a fan of Shameless? And did I misquote that?
The show you are talking about is This Is Us.
Oh, that's the one.
Crock-Pot.
That was a crock pot. Yeah. I remember when that episode came out and the makers of Crock-Pot mentioned that they got a lot of hate mail because of said episode of This Is Us.
Listen, I got a slow cooker crock-pot situation. It's a crock-pot. I think I finally learned the difference between the two. I got a crock-pot on sale, like the XL from Kohl's with a bunch of Kohl's cash. I got it for like $30. Nice. I have almost every kitchen appliance you could own because I'm extra. Like I even have like a vacuum sealer. Like wow. I'm so extra. Have I unboxed that vacuum sealer? No. But if I wanted to, I could.
Do you have do you have one of those machines that can like make beef jerky at home? Can you do that?
A dehydrator is the one I'm missing. So I have air fryer, a fondue pot, slow cooker, what else? I have an ice cream machine, like the Ninja Cream.
Oh. Say, yeah. You have one of those ice cream makers, don't you?
Yeah, that's cool.
I do. And I have a bunch of other things that are sitting in my Harry Potter closet.
Now, okay.
Fun fact, my air fryer has a setting on it where I can make my own beef jerky.
Oh, nice. Will you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm looking forward to trying Landon's beef jerky. Stephers, since you seem to be a lot more well-versed on the very specific, unique kitchen appliances, would you say any of those are a can't live without it type item after you got it?
I have to lean with Landon on the air fryer. Like, I do think that is such a worthy investment. I saw that they have air fryer toaster ovens, wombo combo situation. I feel like that's like a good investment because you get 2 for the price of 1 kind of vibe. Other than that, what other appliance do I use the most? I think that's the one that we use the most. Like, I leave that on our kitchen or our countertop. Mm-hmm. We use it so much. My second, I don't know if this counts as an appliance, so, like, don't at me if it's not, but we have an egg cooker, a Dash little egg cooker that we have that you can poke holes, and you put 6 eggs, and it hard boils the eggs for you, or you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing. I want one now.
Oh, and it, like, sings to you a beautiful little tune, like how a washer does, but, like, not.
I'm going on Amazon. Screw this podcast. Y'all are on your own.
Probably that.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, those are great answers. And I will say, just to build on your response, I have a toaster oven air fryer combo, and it is like one of the best things I've ever bought. Like, that's but I don't have the variety that you have. But I'm glad the one thing I do have is like the universally agreed upon. This is a go-to item. Everybody should have one of these on their kitchen counter.
Is $16.99 a good price for an egg cooker?
I feel like is that for the Dash egg cooker? That's the only one I use.
Dash Rapid Egg Cooker, 6 capacity electric egg cooker for hard-boiled eggs, poached eggs, and other assorted eggs.
It's a limited time deal. I would scoop it up, Landon.
I mean, for an indispensable kitchen appliance, it sounds like a good deal.
Yeah, it works great, honestly. Also have a food processor. I say that is the most overrated.
Overrated?
Like,
wow.
You don't need it. What do you need it for?
If you don't like chopping.
Hand choppers. Get one of those hand choppers. I have one of the little things where you put the stuff in it, you put the lid on it, and you pull the wheel. I don't know. It's like a woody, you pull the string and it does the thing.
Okay.
I'm doing the hand movement, and I also realize this is an audio podcast. I'm done with myself.
Well, maybe I should invest in a slap chop. I'm not good at chopping vegetables or other various things. I don't have very good knife skills, so I need to add something like that to my repertoire. But I will say, my most, even if it's not my most used, my most prized kitchen appliance is my Mickey waffle maker. And
that's dope.
Those too.
Yeah, I love it. It's great. I've used it, I'm going to say 5 or 6 times, and I still haven't really made the perfect Mickey waffle, but they're close enough. But anyways, we're not here to talk about appliances, even though we just did for 6 minutes. We're here to talk about Disney, Universal, and of course, SeaWorld. Before we get into the news today, I want to do a couple quick recaps, because since the last time we recorded, if you remember, we recorded very early for the last episode, and since then, I actually had a chance to go to the Walt Disney World theme parks 4 times for 4 different reasons. The first was on Father's Day, Sunday of last week. My daughters took me to Hollywood Studios, and we had a great time. And the reason I just wanted to mention this was I went ahead and sprung for Genie Plus that day, because I wanted to make sure. I didn't know how busy it was going to be. It seemed like, Father's Day, people might go out in the parks. Like, we're doing this, so it might be something people do. And I just wanted to make sure we didn't have to wait in a lot of long lines, and we could enjoy everything we wanted to. And I will say it was my most successful use so far of Genie Plus. It worked very well for us that day. The only thing we didn't do was Slinky Dog, because by the time we got to the park and we were able to start making our selections, the return time for Slinky Dog was 7:30 p.m. That's the first one I could have gotten, and I was like, eh. And then the line for it throughout the day was 2 hours, and it was a ridiculously hot day. So, I know that the Slinky Dog queue, some of it is covered, and they've got fans and stuff, but it was very hot outside, so we weren't about to do that. But otherwise, we started the day with Smuggler's Run. I also paid for the individual Lightning Lane for Rise, which I've paid individual Lightning Lane before for like Cosmic Rewind, and we still had to wait 40 minutes after we tapped in, which was crazy. We practically walked on Rise with the individual Lightning Lane, so that to me was well worth it. We did Star Tours.
Rise in A mode or B mode for you?
Oh, no, everything was working. Except those turbo cannons that they don't move back and forth anymore. But aside from that, everything else was working. We did Muppet Vision. We did Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. We did the Tower of Terror. We did Toy Story Mania. All this stuff. And we were basically like done in the park. It was around 3:30, 4 o'clock. And we had pretty much done everything we wanted to do, including going to Baseline Tap House. And it was just a really nice day. It was really, really good. And we got some fun pictures. So if you know me, you know that I like to take advantage. If I've got the photo pass, I'm going to take advantage of that photo pass. I'm going to find cast members. I'm like, hey, let's do this thing. Well, luckily my daughters were on board. Also my older daughter, McKenna. You all know McKenna Monorail. It's been a while since you've talked to her, but you know her. Her boyfriend was with us. And I was like, come on, let's go get some pictures. And we told the cast member, because we were debating on poses as we were walking up. Because you see people do fun poses and they got all these really cool, like, photo pass pictures. So what I did instead, I told the cast member, I was like, hey, we want to do really fun poses, but we're not creative. So you direct us, like, change our pose every picture. We want to do a bunch of fun stuff. So she did. Like, she was great. We took, I think, probably 10 pictures and she was moving us around, having us do different poses. Like, she was very, very good. And we got a magic shot with BB-8. So that was awesome. My recommendation out of that is just, have fun with it. If you've got your own poses in mind, then absolutely go crazy. But if not, tell the cast member, hey, help me out. Like, tell us how to pose. We want to do some fun stuff. And they will certainly accommodate. So that's a tip that you can put in your pocket and use to your leisure. The other thing I was going to mention, so then on Monday, I officially got to ride Tiana's Bayou Adventure. We had our AP preview day. I got up in the morning. I was able to get the virtual queue. We were group 31 for Tiana. We also got Tron and we were group 34. So just depending on how all the operations went that day, I was concerned we were going to get called at the same time. And guess what? We did. And so you all know with Tiana, if you go check in, like, there have been some hiccups with the operation and there have been some long waits for people. Once they tap in and get in the virtual queue, there have been some long waits because the ride shuts down and they have to, wait it out. So I was worried about that. So I talked to a cast member and as we were going over to Tiana, and they were actually able to move my Tron group. So just a little tip. I just let them know. I was like, hey, we got called for both of these at the same time. I'm worried we're going to, because Tron, they're picky. You've got to go there within the window that you're called. And if you miss it, you miss it. So talked to one of the cast members at the Blue Umbrella, let her know what was happening, and she accommodated. She moved us in the Tron group. She was like, there's plenty of availability today. You'll be fine. So awesome. That was nice. It took the pressure off of us, and we were able to go do Tiana and not worry about it. Because that was the priority. That's why we were there that day. And I just, without spoiling things, because I know, Landon, you're trying to stay spoiler-free on Tiana, my feedback is, as anticipated, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And you could say, well, is this a biased opinion? You went in, you were being sort of a cheerleader for this thing for the whole time. I was, but I was also, I'm not just going to come back and tell you guys that something is great if I don't think it's great. I had such a good time on Tiana's Bayou Adventure. I was clapping the whole time. The music is great. We knew that it would be, but I was like clapping along with the music. I was singing because you get to hear some of your favorites. The animatronics that you see are amazing. The scenes, and I gotta say, I think all of the criticism about the storyline is absolute BS. From the beginning, they tell you sort of what the goal is of the story. If you miss it and you feel like, oh, it doesn't make sense or whatever, then I don't think you're paying attention. So, and I can verify that because, I talked with Cocktail Bob, afterwards, who has ridden Tiana's Bayou Adventure. And he had said this. Happy belated birthday. Bob. Yeah, happy belated birthday, Bob. And he had said the same thing. He's like, well, I don't know. It's kind of a weak story. So I mentioned to him, I was like, well, did you see this part? Did you see this part? He's like, no, I guess I missed that. And I'm like, so you're missing the setup of the story. So anyways, it was great. And also we were very lucky. The ride was humming along that day. It did have a delayed opening on Monday, but once they started rolling through the boarding groups, we got right on. My only fear was right as we sat on the boat, it started to rain. And I was like, oh my gosh, if they shut this thing down for weather while we're actually sitting on it, that will be so disappointing. But We did get held up. It was before one of the minor drops, like you go up and you're going to do one of the minor drops mid-ride, and it stopped, and we sat there for, I'm going to say, 6-7 minutes. Then I was like, oh, we're going to get walked off. But then we went, and we finished the ride, and it was great. So 2 thumbs up from me. I know if you're a fan of Tom and Michelle, Hyperion Adventures podcast, they actually went to the D23 event for Tiana's Bayou Adventure yesterday, and they posted a video on their YouTube with their review and thoughts. So go check out Hyperion Adventures podcast YouTube, and you can see that. But yeah, I like 10 out of 10, and I can't wait for you guys, like Landon and Stephers. I can't wait for you all to experience it. I think you're gonna love it. Casey and I were in the front row. I got drenched, like literally drenched. So
what you're telling me is this log flume ride, there's a possibility that you could get wet.
You may.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. I don't know if
I'm
I don't know if anybody else got as wet as I did. I think I really got most of it.
So well, good on you for taking the majority of the splash on that ride. I'm glad to hear you enjoyed your ride. Giving it a 10 out of 10 only adds to my excitement. Me and the Smoking Hot Girlfriend, you may remember last week, I wasn't here. We were on a trip to Asheville, and when we were driving back, we may or may not have been started planning a trip down to Disney, so we could possibly, or me more in particular, could ride Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So to hear that you had a great time on it, I'm glad to hear that. It only adds to my anticipation for it.
I'm glad, and it should. And the other thing I was going to say, so afterwards we were, walking in the hot Florida sun trying to dry off. And I said to Casey and May, I was like, I'm not just saying this, but with the overhaul of that ride and the state that it's in now, it's a lot more likely that on a random day in Magic Kingdom, I'm going to go ride Tiana's Bayou Adventure way more frequently than I would Splash, because I just like it that much more now. So, yeah.
Okay, all right.
I'll put up with getting wet because it's worth it to see all the cool stuff. And speaking of Tom and Michelle, I just mentioned them a second ago. I got to spend some time in Magic Kingdom yesterday with Tom and Michelle. We met up. We did Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor together. We did Haunted Mansion. We did Mickey's PhilharMagic. We were just doing some of the stuff kind of on the back side of the park, but really the idea was just to kind of hang out. We ate at Columbia Harbor House. We had a really nice lunch. One thing to note, and I read this on the blogs, somebody posted this, and it's true. They don't have hush puppies at Columbia Harbor House anymore. They're gone. I don't know why that would be, but yeah, no more hush puppies. And it's true. We checked yesterday.
Why do they not have the hush puppies?
I don't know. So if you're expecting hush puppies when you get a fried food platter, think again.
I mean, yeah, you have fried seafood, you get some dang hush puppies.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what the deal with that is.
That's disappointing.
They did have a new vegetarian option. It's like it's a fried mushroom roll that Michelle got, and she said she really liked it. She wanted to try it just because it was a new menu item, but she wasn't looking forward to it, I think, but she liked it. So that was good. But really the thing I wanted to say about this was while we were in line for for Haunted Mansion, we were chatting just about podcast stuff, and we go into the stretching room. And there was one of the people that was in line with us. He kind of followed us the whole time. And we were in the stretching room with them. And then as we moved into the actual queue part, once you get out of the stretching room, they turned around and said, "Hey, I just wanted to let you know, I've been listening to you chat, and I noticed you were saying you both are podcasters. Well, I looked you up and I went ahead and subscribed on Spotify, and they showed me their phone, and they were, sure enough, Monday Morning Monorail podcast, they had subscribed. And so like, really, really nice. Their name was Tay. So Tay was super nice and apparently doing the college program right now at Magic Kingdom, and they are in the costume department. So, shout out to Tay. It was a pleasure meeting you yesterday. Thanks for subscribing. I think Tay also subscribed to Hyperion Adventures podcast while we were there. So, hopefully you're going to enjoy your new, subscriptions, Tay, and welcome to the Monorail fam, and good luck in the college program.
Yeah, welcome aboard, Tay. Hopefully our talk of kitchen appliances didn't scare you off at the top. And Tay, you are my favorite member of the Monorail fam.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe we'll hear from them on social media at some point. So very cool. Always love welcoming new members. But So that's my quick recap.
I mean, 4 trips to the park in what, less than a week?
Yeah.
Week and a half?
About a week and a half. Yeah. Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good, he says.
Oh, final note. You all will be very proud of this. So the last thing I did yesterday, I got to meet up with Rick from Tall Guy Talks Travel. We went to Animal Kingdom and met at Nomad because he was celebrating his birthday. And
Happy birthday, Rick.
Yeah, happy birthday to Rick. So we all gather around the bar and we're sitting there talking. Of course, we're in Nomad, so the topic of ribs comes up. Well, our bartender, he was kind of messing with us and he was like, oh, well, buy a few more drinks. Who knows? Maybe ribs will show up. I don't know. But as it turned out, like one of the managers of the place came out and he said to her, he said, I've had 4 people sitting at the bar right here tell me they want the ribs back. And she was like, really? And he was like, everybody raise your hands if you want ribs. We raised our hands. She was like, okay, interesting. And I don't know if that means anything or maybe she's just like, great, whatever, who cares? But I'm just letting you know, we're still spreading the word of ribs and we're doing the groundwork and we're putting the pressure on Nomad Lounge. So I'm asking you, Monorail fam, call to action. If you go to Nomad Lounge, just tell them you miss the ribs and you want them back. If we keep doing it, we can maybe make a difference here. I believe in us. So keep fighting the good fight.
I like it. I like this.
Yeah. I want to keep it going. I was going to give up on it, honestly, because the last couple times I've asked, they're like, they've got them at Flame Tree Barbecue, and they're not the same.
They are not the same. Yeah, I got fed that line one time. It's like, oh, okay, I'll go try them. And I went and tried them. And I was given disappointment on a plate. Not to say that the ribs at Flame Tree are bad. They are just not the same as what dim ribs were at Nomad.
Yeah. So I feel like there's a glimmer of hope. And we can be the spark that ignites the flame, that brings the ribs back to Nomad Lounge. And we have got to do it, people. Get out there and do it. It is your Monday Morning Monorail fam duty to fight for these ribs. And that is the call to action. Do it for Landon. Do it for Stephers. Do it for me. We got to get those ribs back. It's the whole of my heart.
Do it for yourself, because dim ribs were awesome.
Okay. All right. Well, that will conclude my little trip report recap. And now, if we've got no other business to take care of, I think it's time to jump head first into the news. That's right, dreamers. We have scoured the headlines from across the internet. And they're all about the Central Florida theme parks, because that's what we talk about here on the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. And we brought those headlines back to serve them up to you today. And we're going to start with one from WDWmagic.com, passing along some information about Walt Disney World's operations on the 4th of July. Now, if you have ever traveled to Walt Disney World on the 4th of July, there's one thing you know for sure. It's very busy. I think it may be the busiest time of year especially at like Magic Kingdom, because they do special 4th of July fireworks. This is one of the times where they actually do a different fireworks show, and there's like perimeter fireworks that are not just centered on the castle, and people love it, and they usually do it a couple times. So you got a chance to see it usually on the July 3rd and usually also on July 4th. It typically comes along with extended hours as well. So thinking ahead to that, July 4th is not this week. I know it's next week, but we got to plan ahead and get our ducks in a row, because if you're going to be there, you're going to plan for it. It may get so busy in the park that they shut down letting people in, even park hopping. So just keep this in mind. But according to this article, this is from Thursday, June 20th. Disney made a surprise announcement via the official Disney Parks blog earlier this week that Epcot's 4th of July show, The Heartbeat of Freedom, would be shown on both July 3rd and 4th this year, the first time that Epcot would have celebrated on 2 nights. It seems like that was a mistake. Unfortunately, Epcot's show is only going to take place on July 4th. So if you would happen to see that news, they're not going to do the Heartbeat of Freedom on the 3rd. They're going to do it on the 4th, as normal at 9 p.m. And what I read about that is they're going to go ahead and do Harmonious. And then after Harmonious, not Harmonious. What is the current? Where is Luminous? Sorry.
I was like, Harmonious. Are we going back in time?
get in my. I was like Landon. I stepped out on the terrace at Topolino. I was watching Harmonious, Luminous.
Well, first of all, I don't like the fact that whenever somebody misspeaks, it's like I'm like Landon now. That's not cool.
Well, you said Harmonious is what you saw, which you would have had to go back in time. So I'm just connecting it to that. Luminous. We're both living in the past. Luminous will be performed, and then you'll get the Heartbeat of Freedom. According to what we read. And then additionally, Magic Kingdom is backtrack on plans for extended hours on July 3rd and 4th. Disney's original release said the park would be open from 8 to midnight on the 3rd and then 8 to 1 a.m. on the 4th. Now the calendar shows July 3rd, 9 a.m. to 11. And then on the 4th, 8 p.m. to 11. So officially
8 a.m. to 11.
That's what I meant to say. Thank you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So officially, fireworks over the Magic Kingdom, Disney Celebrate America, a 4th of July concert in the sky, scheduled for 9:20. And then the Heartbeat of Freedom fireworks will be, it says, at Epcot, guests can enjoy the Heartbeat of Freedom, a patriotic fireworks display that will follow the nighttime show Luminous on July 4th at 9 p.m. There's also going to be dance parties. Magic Kingdom will host lively dance parties with DJs spinning tunes in front of Cinderella's castle throughout the park.
Just like our forefathers imagined.
Yeah,
they,
of course.
Made this great nation of ours.
Of course. Voices of Liberty throughout the day. Visitors can enjoy the harmonious sounds of the Voices of Liberty. A renowned a cappella vocal group will perform patriotic numbers in the rotunda of the American Adventure. And there's also going to be patriotic Disney character photo ops if you're in the park for the 4th of July. And then we all love, of course, Spaceship Earth and her wonderful beacon of magic additions with all the lights all over it. There will be patriotic lights on Spaceship Earth. So lots of cool ways to celebrate our country's freedom if you happen to be at Walt Disney World during that time. Stephers, Landon, have you ever gone to the parks the week of 4th of July?
No, I've never been there on the 4th of July. And even given the opportunity, just knowing how crowded and busy it's going to be, I don't know if I would go. Not to say that the activities that they have down at Walt Disney World don't sound cool. I mean, I would love to take in the Heartbeat of Freedom show and, seeing the characters in their the Spirit of 76 attire, I think would be cool. Get some pictures with them. And, of course, seeing my girl, the Epcot ball all lit up in red, white, and blue would be a beautiful sight to behold. That'd be a mob of humanity. Yeah. And on top of that, you mentioned in your 9 days in the parks that you took how hot it's going to be or how hot it was. Mm-hmm. And I have a feeling it will continue to be hot in Central Florida. So I have not been to Walt Disney World at 4th of July, and I think I might continue that streak in the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I would rather go during Christmas, and that's about the only holiday you will catch me at the parks.
Yeah, if you were picking
New Year's, couldn't pay me enough. 4th of July, couldn't pay me enough. Easter, couldn't pay me enough. Mm-hmm. Ain't no way.
Yeah.
Ain't no way. Sorry.
New Year's is fun. I've done New Year's not only in Magic Kingdom, but also in Epcot. But it is crazy busy. Like, you just don't, there's no illusions of like actually getting on rides or anything. You just go for the environment, the party of it all. And that's kind of fun. But yeah, it's going to be crazy busy and crazy hot for July 4th. But I will say
in situations like that, like when you go for New Year's, like, is it still enjoyable? Like with that many people, and you say it's like there's you have to go with the mindset you're not going to be able to get on any attractions. Like, is that still fun?
For me, and this is just referring to my experience on New Year's at Magic Kingdom, I thought it was very cool because we ended up doing some of the things that people don't typically line up for or have really long waits. Like, we did TTA that day, and we did like a couple other things, but what makes it fun, like I said, is being part of that experience in the environment, because they do have like all these little dance parties going around in the park. They're handing out hats and noisemakers to everybody that have like New Year's at Walt Disney World. There's special treats. There's always little things. And it was, for me, like, that was a memorable experience. I'm glad I did it. I don't anticipate that I would like to do that again soon, but who knows? I mean, because, the other thing is it takes forever to leave the park afterwards because it's so busy, and especially Magic Kingdom. And Epcot's similar. Like, they set up like a whole, I don't know where they do this, but somewhere in World Showcase, they set up like, it's almost like they build a club out in World Showcase, and there's laser lights and music, and people are having a great time. Like, it's just something you don't ever see the parks like that. So, so that's the reason. If you had any interest in experiencing the parks in a different way, then that's kind of a reason to do it. But, if you're really more like, I just want to go to the parks because I enjoy the attractions, and well, that's not really what you're getting in for those days, I would say. Landon, I picked this next one for you because I think you're our resident Oga's aficionado. Even though I know that you feel the same as us. Like, it's just like the 45-minute time limit and the kind of the headache of it all kind of stinks. But I'm just saying, I think you have the most experience under your belt at Oga's, and you also enjoy those souvenir mugs. Am I right?
I do. You are correct. I don't know if I have the most experience at Oga's, but you are correct on the enjoyment of those souvenirs and overpriced mugs that they like to hawk and push on you at Oga's Cantina.
Well, what if I told you that if you are heading to the park soon, you're going to have a chance to get a brand new Oga's Cantina souvenir? Would that excite you in any way?
I'm oddly intrigued by said proposition, Justin Monorail. You may proceed.
Okay. Well, Disney has revealed there's a new Lothcat souvenir mug available at Oga's Cantina. It looks like it's made out of like rock, if you kind of look at the mug. And if you know what a Lothcat is, they are kind of creepy looking cats with big tall ears, and they have talons for feet. There was a similar one, I guess, that was for sale in Disneyland, but this one has a little bit of a difference to it. Now, here is the key. Apparently, it costs $28 plus the cost of whatever non-alcoholic drink you're purchasing. Apparently, Disney specifically mentions this is for non-alcoholic beverages.
Does Oga's have non-alcoholic beverages? Because I'm not familiar with that part of the menu.
I mean, that's just what they're...
Honestly, same.
Yeah.
I'm like, is there a non-alcoholic beverage? I mean, I feel like they have to.
They do.
Like, it's not something I even look at. So, says more about me, I guess.
No, I think that says more about Oga's, because it's like, I think I've pretty, well, to your point, Jay, my experience, I think I've pretty much drank every beverage on the menu at some point in Oga's, and I'm legitimately pulling a blank on a non-alcoholic beverage there. No, like maybe there's like a kids menu option. Like I'm gonna pull up the menu here real quick. Like,
it's okay. I can tell you why you don't see it, because it's on the flip side of the menu, if I remember right. Like, one side has the adult beverages. If you flip it over, the other side has the non-alcoholic.
Stephers does not flip. Stephers stays in her lane.
So that could be why you've missed them. But I want to say the non-alcoholic ones are maybe on the page where it has the food. But that, again, you probably don't care about that either. So,
well, yeah. Going back to a couple weeks ago in my rant on the lack of food. Yeah, maybe that's why. Okay, concoctions without alcohol. A hyperdrive punch it. Java Juice, Pure Grid Fire, what? Carbon Freeze, Black Spire Brew, Blue Bantha. So it's...
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So they have a handful of non-alcoholic, but looking at these, two of them are Powerade based drinks. One is an OJ based drink. One is a lemonade based drink, blue milk, and a cold brew coffee.
Yeah.
Okay,
Fancy.
All right. So they do exist, y'all.
They do. It's true.
I didn't doubt it. I just didn't really think about it. You know?
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's not why we go. So
no. Yeah, but it is oddly specific that Disney specified this is for a non-alcoholic beverage with the Lothcat souvenir mug. And Jay, you said they're creepy. I think they're kind of cute, me personally. So your mileage may vary, but $28 for this thing, plus the beverage. Though I do want to point out the non-alcoholic beverages range in that $7 to $8 area. So you're not going to be hit with $15. Then you have to pay $28 for the mug. So out the door, you're looking at maybe $32 if you want to keep your souvenir lolcat mug. Still, that's an expensive-ish souvenir, but at the same time, you can proudly display it with your other tiki mugs that you've got from Oga's and Trader Sam's. So there you go.
It makes me wonder if it's basically to protect the bartenders, because if you see a kid drinking out of this thing, it has something non-alcoholic in it. Sure, there might be.
Oh, that's a good call. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure, there might be adults drinking out of them too. But if a kid's got it, you're not like, wait a minute, what are they drinking?
Yeah. And I mean, bringing up the kids specifically, I could very easily see, I'm going to use myself for example. Last year, me, Smoking Hot Girlfriend, went down to Disney and we took her young daughter, and she thought Oga's was cool for a little bit, but I mean, by the end of it, she was very much ready to go, because I mean, it's a bar. But if she had an opportunity to drink out of a cat mug, she would 100% sign up for that. She would think it was cute. She would want one, so she would absolutely jump at the opportunity to drink out of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm glad they're adding stuff for kids. I actually noticed that one of those drinks, I think it's the Blurg Fire, has habanero lime in it, and it makes me wonder if that would be pretty close to what the sour Sarlacc used to be, which you can no longer get at Ronto Roasters. Now you can get the Surly Sarlacc, which is alcoholic, but the sour Sarlacc used to be a non-alcoholic version of that, and it was May's favorite drink. And of course, they took it away just specifically to punish May.
Yep. But we still don't know what May did to anger Disney, but Disney did that to specifically punish May.
I think so. So anyway, maybe that one's close, but that was good. I mean, I like the Surly. I'm a big fan of the Surly Sarlacc, so hard to go wrong. But
the Surly Sarlacc is good.
Yeah. But that was all I had for Disney today. I don't know if you guys had seen anything else that you wanted to throw out, but if not, we can always hop in the virtual tube here and shoot on over to Across the Universal with Stephers. And we've got a big one. It's a big one, Stephers.
We do have a big one, and it's very exciting news for all of us, because at least for us, we've been waiting for it.
Yeah.
I don't know about our listeners, but we've been waiting for it. I will say, so the news is Dark Universe, the land, was revealed in its detailed glory. I will say I was hoping for the Universal Monsters House to also be announced, so maybe that's this week, so maybe Thursday we'll get an announcement, or tomorrow if you're listening to this on drop day, on Tuesday we'll get it. But Dark Universe was revealed. The New World you got a deadline?
Yeah, it's a good article. They did a good job.
Look at you being official. The New World at Epic Universe will include many things. Let's just get on into it. I actually opened the Epic Universe from Universal, their website, to kind of break down each thing. But essentially, the portal will take you through to harness the dark energy of Darkmoor, which is kind of this town. Are we calling it a town?
Yeah. I think so.
Village. They call it a village.
Yeah. It takes a village.
As guests venture through Darkmoor, the ravaged village within Dark Universe, they'll encounter the characters and subjects of Frankenstein's experiments within a theme park environment that offers family-friendly fun while also pushing the boundaries on intensity. Individual experiences include a ride called Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein Experiment, the Curse of the Werewolf Coaster, a Darkmoor monster makeup experience, and an up-close opportunity to meet the monsters. Mm-hmm. So let's get into the different rides, because so they released teasers on social media, and then per each land they reveal, there's a 6 to 7 minute long video that they also release. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you, if you haven't watched that video, hit pause, go watch that video, come back. But Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein experience, takes guests deep into the catacombs of Frankenstein Manor, where Dr. Victoria Frankenstein conducts her twisted experiments. She invites guests into her laboratory to witness a demonstration of her ability to control monsters, but her plans go awry when her attempts to control Dracula fail, unleashing a horde of enraged monsters. Guests then ride through the darkness as they try to evade the likes of the Wolfman, the Mummy, the Creature from the Black Lagoon, the Brides of Dracula, and more.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So the facade looks incredible. Like, I don't think that they can really botch this in terms of, like, the facade, just because I see what they do for Halloween Horror Nights. Like, I know it's larger scale, but, like, I think they can execute the stonework and stuff very accurately. The estate inside looks chef's kiss.
Yeah.
And I'm 95% positive they mentioned the Wolfman, and one of the people who is working at a creative design assistant director confirmed that it is not CGI used
in that video,
in this ride, in this video. And that, I think, is insane because, like, it's easy to just kind of throw a screen. I know a lot of people, and, like, I don't necessarily disagree, especially at this stage of Universal's, like, trajectory, but, like, a lot of screens are being used, so I wouldn't blame them to think, oh, they're just going to throw another screen thing, XYZ. Not even CGI, y'all. So, Wolfman animatronic?
Steffers, do you think this ride will have, like, 4D elements? Like, are we going to have to wear glasses, or is it going to be straight up no glasses on this?
I think they're going to take the elements of I know this is going to sound weird, but, like, the Born Stuntacular and make it into a ride. I think if they can, like, optical illusion you into thinking it, I think that would make the ride more digestible. Gringotts is great, but I find that on some of the drops, like, the glasses fall off my head. Yeah. Or, what's another ride where you have to wear glasses?
It used
Forbidden
to be
Journey, I think you have to ride. Or do they get rid of that?
Spider-Man.
Yeah, like rides where you have to wear glasses, I feel like it's great in terms of, like, you can see everything, but it's not great in terms of, like, people with glasses and, like, drops and it's too complex. But if there are glasses, I will gladly wear them.
I would just prefer, like, I think we still, and they haven't really come out and said, but we don't know what type of ride vehicle this is going to be. You can see little glimpses of it in the artist renderings and in the video, but, like, I can't tell. Is it going to be like a Kuka arm again? Like Forbidden Journey?
That's for, is that not for this one? No, I think Curse of the, I guess the arm. I see what you're saying. I want to say no, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Because just based off of the next ride we're going to go over, like, I can tell they're taking elements of rides that they already have at their parks, and they're, like, configuring them a different way. Also, a fast fact, the Phantom of the Opera's organ within the Monsters Unchained The Frankenstein Experiment features 14 individual flame points that shoot vertical flames over 3 feet in the air and dance in synchronicity.
Yeah.
Words are hard. With the organ music.
Amazing.
In case you wanted to know a little fast fact about Monsters Unchained.
So I want to know where
I have a feeling this is going to be an attraction y'all are going to have to tell me about.
You can do this one, Landon. You're strapped. You could close your eyes and you'll make it all the way through.
Well, you mentioned what's the Harry Forbidden Journey one with the arm? Yeah. There's a and being strapped in. There was a point the first time I rode that ride where I tried to unstrap myself when those big giant spiders dropped down about 6 inches from your face, and I introduced the child sitting next to me to every profanity in the English language. So I don't know if I could make it through.
Oh well. I just think it's going to be awesome. My question is,
it does look and sound cool.
Where's the woke mob on here that's going to come after Victoria Frankenstein?
It's in the comments section on this Deadline article from Biff. It all sounded great till they announced Victoria Frankenstein. Ugh, really? Sounds about as scary as the mummy in the Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah, there we go. Thanks.
Ask and ye shall receive.
Thank you, Biff.
I will say Landon maybe won't ride this ride because Oh, also for background, Dr. Victoria Frankenstein is Henry's great-great-great-great-great-great-granddaughter. Sorry, I had to count how many greats there were. And she lives in the manor. Who's Greg? There is a Greg who
Who's
is working, I'm assuming is on the team for Epic Universe and this ride. And the last paragraph, in terms of this ride, what I want guests to say is, that was one of the scariest things I've ever done in my life, and you have to try it.
Oh,
it's hard to scare people these days. We want to make sure they have fun and they see something they'll never forget.
Great.
Greg! What the hell, Greg?
Damn it, Greg. Just like in Succession.
Yeah.
Cousin Greg.
Yeah. Greg's just out here ruining it for everybody.
Oh, that's great. I'm excited. Okay, moving on, Stephers.
Next one. Deep in the woods that sit on the edge of Darkmoor, guests will find Curse of the Werewolf, a spinning family coaster inspired by the Wolfman. Entering the Guild of Mystics, guests will be greeted by the Alright, I said it already. The Guild's all-knowing seer and leader, who warns them that they bear the mark of the werewolf. Guests then board a wagon and venture into the forest, racing to escape the werewolves before they become one themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's giving, based off of the renderings, it's giving... what's that? Toy Story Mania. That I had the ride. It's giving Toy Story Mania, but Gringotts with the spinning. So maybe like a Primeval Whirl kind of,
Yeah.
Marrying the two together.
Yeah.
I'm interested if it just spins to spin, or if there's like a purpose to the spins like in Gringotts.
Or like in Cosmic Rewind, where it's like trying to let you look at what you're supposed to look at. The only issue is the seats. The seats are back to back on this one, so
Correct.
You'd be showing people two different things. So I don't know. It could just be spinning for spinning. In this case,
I guess we'll find out.
Have you seen? I've seen this ride test, and it's one that has like a back and forth launch. So that's pretty fun.
I'm sorry.
It has like it launches backwards.
Oh, I heard what you said.
Yeah.
The words processed in my brain. Listen, it seems like Stephers is going to have the ear patches and the navel patch. That's what it's giving. But I'm here for it, and I'm okay with it. So this is my thing. Backwards makes me nausea. Frontwards makes me not nausea. So I guess and then I guess the next question is where's the most ideal place to ride? Does it vary per ride? Like, if you start off facing forward, do you end up facing backward? Like, all these questions. Or do you both launch, like, sideways kind of vibe? Like, so you're left, right versus straight up and back? Listen, Stephers has a lot of questions that need to be answered when we eventually see this. Fast fact for this ride is Into the Lair of the Wolf. Curse of the Werewolf tears through the dark forest at 37 miles per hour for over 2 minutes of sheer thrill, racing through a dark, foreboding shed with mysterious figures clawing ever so near.
That's fun.
And now my question is, how long is Hagrid's? Hagrid's is...
I would guess 2.5 if I had to. That's my over-under for Hagrid's.
I'm gonna look that up. Because I'm very interested. I like to gauge, so at least for me, and I'm sure our listeners maybe also want to know, like, compare it to another ride. It's a 3-minute roller coaster ride.
Okay.
So it's 1 minute less, but that's still a pretty long ride, I think, for sure. Especially with it spinning, especially with how thrilling it is. I wonder...
It's longer than Tron.
And I think the speed is a great, like, middle ground to maybe not lose the story. I'm worried... Like, if something goes too fast, you'll lose... I know that it helps for rewritability to catch things you missed, but I'm also, like, I'd like to see more things, not just have little aesthetics put throughout. Like, Velocicoaster is a great ride, but, like, I don't see half the Raptors that are in the ride because it's so fast. So, it's fine. I'm seeing if Greg said anything else about Curse of the Werewolf.
Oh, he better not have. I've about had it with Greg.
No, there's nothing on Greg. That's not all. Those are the 2 rides in this area. There's also a monster makeup experience, which, if people remember, they, like, tested this experience at studios, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Guests of all ages can don elaborate face paint and temporary tattoos at Darkmoor Monster Makeup Experience. Here, monster makers have converted Dr. Pretorius's infamous old lab into a parlor, and skilled artisans use their talents to transform guests into a likeness of their favorite Universal monsters.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is Universal, and I hate to keep comparing. I'm just trying to do like sort of like a similarity so people can kind of draw a parallel. I think this is going to be Universal's kind of version of Bibbidi Bobbidi, but like lower scale face paint kind of vibe.
Because it's like Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, but done by Hot Topic.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with Hot Topic. Listen.
Hey, it's somebody who worked at Hot Topic for several years. There's absolutely nothing wrong with Hot Topic.
And then alongside the makeup situation experience, you also can meet the monsters. The monsters of Darkmoor are, there's a meet and greet from kids to adults in this photo op. The Rogues Gallery includes Dr. Victoria Frankenstein's monster and the alluring Bride of Frankenstein. Guests will also encounter other unusual inhabitants roaming the village, including Victoria Frankenstein's servant, Igor, the Invisible Man, and the eccentric monster hunter, and a talented musician who regales guests with songs and tales related to classic monster stories.
Hold on, time out. Are you telling me we can do a character meet and greet with the Invisible Man?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure we've been doing that forever. How would we know we haven't already done that?
I am currently doing a character meet and greet with the Invisible Man right now while we're recording this podcast.
And then the ominous end of the description on Universal's website says, "But beware, you never know who or what may be lurking in the shadows," which lends itself to maybe they have like some rotating.
I'm wondering if there's like mini scare zones in this area.
I hope.
No, please don't.
I mean,
listen,
that wording just makes me think that, you know, if you get too close to a certain area, something may be spooky.
From the deserted cemetery to the blackened stone walls of the village to the catacombs beneath Frankenstein Manor, it's a forbidding world where myth and grim reality meet. I mean, there's some caskets you can take pictures in.
I understand thematically why they would want to do that, but on the flip side, I know there is an audience for that, but on the other side of the coin, there is an audience that will absolutely turn off and not want to go to that entire area of the park. Y'all understand that, right?
Well, I would say this whole area is about monsters. And so if people are averse to the spooky stuff, they may not go in anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't like this isn't like Hotel Transylvania land, which would be more appealing to the kids. I
do think roaming streets, how do I say this? Like, to make it family friendly, I think what they'll do is, in theory, is they'll allow the streets to be kind of free of the spooks and the scares, and then maybe the elements within, like if you go inside a place, like Reign of Kong, there used to be somebody that used to jump out at you.
In the queue.
Yeah.
In the queue.
Yeah.
And then they stopped doing that, I'm assuming.
They did.
Because people started pooping their pants.
Yeah.
So I think that there's going to be some level of, hey, you're coming into this land. We want to make it fun for the whole family. However, it's still supposed to be thrilling and scary.
Once you go inside the attractions, once you go inside different parts of this land, know that there is stuff that can and probably will happen. I totally get that.
Yeah.
But I also think Universal is aware they don't want to make 1/6 of their new theme park just completely of people be totally averse to it. Jay, to your point, I understand this is a area themed around the classic Universal monsters, but at the same time, it's like Universal still wants families to come and spend their money in this area, and even if they don't like monsters, they still want them to come through and get merchandise and stuff like that in this area.
Yeah. I'll just speak for myself. When I was a kid and this stuff scared me, I wouldn't have gone to this area regardless. I would have not, like, if my parents were like, we gotta go, I would have been crying. Like, I wouldn't have gone in. I'm sure
there still will be.
Mm-hmm. Like, just knowing that it was themed after the monsters, I would not have gone in.
But I think they can bridge some sort of gap in terms of, like, the cool theming. Like, I think if the marketing around it being a cool themed dark area versus an area full of I think that there's some sort of.
And I'm sure that they will. I guess, that's It's just interesting because, I mean, the whole thing is they want to build up that suspense and feeling of dread, right? I mean, they're doing it with the wording of all this. So
and they are, and I do think they have a very fine line to walk when it comes to this, because it's like we didn't even talk about this in the preview article. It's like I'm very interested in going to that Monster Hunter bar or whatever.
Yeah, the Burning Blade.
And they have some cool dining options. But if I know I have to like fight through Halloween Horror Night scare zones to get to that, I am not going to spend a single damn dime in that area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Burning Blade Tavern is what that's called.
We're getting there. We're getting there, y'all.
Well, I was leading us there. Let's go.
Well,
let's
also,
go.
I just wanted to add, hold on, I wanted to add one little tidbit.
Okay.
There are going to be performers in the streets, like musician performers, like roaming. So that's also a cool little tidbit that you're getting kind of a show and
And I'm fine with that type of ambiance to build this darker world. Just keep your murder babies at Halloween Horror Night. That's all I'm asking.
Well, just for that, I'm skipping the Burning Blade first. I'm going to the Das Steakhouse first. Well, we're both dining options. So this is a quick service Das Steakhouse. Shrouded in mystery, Das Steakhouse is an old inn and dining hall built over the ruins of ancient catacombs. Here you can enjoy a meal surrounded by vampire artwork and artifacts. In fact, the restaurant is run by vampires in quotes, or servants. Just don't venture down to the catacombs below, or you might find yourself on the vampires menu. That's okay. It's giving, what's the Harry Potter place? My brain just went blank.
Three
but
Broomsticks.
It's giving like a dark version of like a Three Broomsticks kind of vibe. I really like the stonework and the concept art and the candelabras, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I like all the fire elements. It's giving spoopy, but like not like terrifying. Like I wouldn't assume that's blood. I would just think that that's like just red. You know what I mean? Like it's not blatantly like, hey, I want to suck your blood.
That is what a vampire do.
I mean, I know, but still. My question for you both, and I don't know if either of you have, but Monsters Cafe closed at Universal Studios. The question is are they going to take that menu, maybe elevate it slightly and put that menu here? Or do we think we're getting an all-new experience slated for Das Steakhouse?
To me, this looks like a signature, like, sit-down dining restaurant.
Yeah.
To me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's quick service.
They called it quick service?
Yeah, it's dining type says quick service.
That's interesting. Huh.
Yeah, because before you said it's quick service, I was of the mindset that Jay had that this was going to be like, okay, you want to come and sit down and have a good meal, like this is going to be one of the restaurants they point to. It's like you take the family and sit down for a steak at Das Steakhouse. I mean, yeah, it's going to be spooky themed, but
I also just want to note Three Broomsticks is considered a quick service as well.
Well, that I understand. I mean, but I guess can we think of another example of a quick service steak house?
Well, steak is vampires, not steak like steak.
I know, but you're having fun.
Calling it steakhouse.
You're having fun with homophones. I get it, but you're calling it a steakhouse. Like that to me, like I hope people do their research, because if it doesn't have a menu like a steakhouse, people are gonna be disappointed.
Yeah, most definitely. And you were asking about the Monsters Cafe. Honestly, I think if anywhere is going to get that menu, it's going to be what is it? The Burning Hammer,
Blade.
Burning Blade.
Blade.
Yeah, Burning Hammer's a wrestling movie. Yeah, but like honestly, I think if anywhere is going to have that menu, it's going to be there.
I don't know how I feel with this being lumped in the same category as like Captain America Diner, Cafe 4. Circus McGurk. Like, I don't...
Right.
I feel like this should be a more elevated experience. And maybe it is. It's just... Maybe they're designing it in terms of, like... I'm trying to think of, like, a place. Like a... Oh, I don't like that option, though. Like, you order and then you just find seating kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Versus, like, maybe that's what defines it as quick service versus a sit down, get a menu, have a... I don't know.
Well, can you do the thing at Three Broomsticks where you, like, scan the barcode on your table and you order on your phone and then they bring it to you?
Well, They might be so that's what they do at Minion Cafe.
Mhm.
So I wonder if they're going to implement that. That would make the most sense, actually. So I don't know. We'll see.
I'm very curious now. That makes me, because I was convinced, like I had missed the whole quick service thing. I was really convinced that this was.
Me too.
Yeah. Huh. Okay.
Because I mean, like, I'm looking at Orlando Informer, and they say on the menu this is a fast casual restaurant. They mention on the menu it has kebabs, burgers, sandwiches, and ribs. So I mean, like, that does not scream steakhouse type menu.
I'm devastated.
I'm sorry.
Huh.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to point that out. It seemed very important.
It is. No, I'm glad you did, because
Oh, most definitely. I'm glad we're discovering this here on the podcast, as opposed to like going to sit down and looking at the menu and going, "The hell is going on?"
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be like a Richter's, like,
that's
three
so
broomsticks
that's
kind
so
of
weird.
vibe, where you like order the food and you just go to the table instead of
The artist
of
concept,
full
it has
service.
one of the familiars bringing food to the table. So I mean, like, again, that's artist concepts.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see what I want to see one thing really quick before we switch to the next restaurant. Okay, so Minions Cafe is considered a quick service. So I think I lean strongly toward the whole scan the barcode at the table.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wait to get in, you get assigned a table, you scan it at the table, they bring it to you, and it's just and you just enjoy the theming of the restaurant. I think that that's the vibe it's going to go.
Okay.
But we'll see
All right.
when the menu comes out. I think the menu will really tell you a lot, in my opinion. The Burning Blade Tavern is the highly anticipated place of the Monorail fam.
Yeah.
The Burning Blade Tavern is the old mill which Darkmoor Village's monster hunters have transformed into their hangout. Here, guests will discover stories of some of the countryside's most accomplished creature capturers, along with a menu of burgers, wings, bratwurst, pretzels, and beverages. So we actually get a look at what kind of food we could anticipate. So I think, Landon, you're right in terms of if they were to marry some of the Monsters Cafe menu items, they would put it here if they decide to do it at all. I mean, honestly, they could scrap the whole thing and start anew. The fun part about this place is the windmill at the top of the Burning Blade Tavern erupts into flames several times an hour. 2 types of fuel are used in different ratios, allowing for easy visibility to guests during both the day and night. And my question is are we going to light anything on fire with the Florida winds?
Well,
I mean, they haven't lit anything on fire with the Dragon and Diagon Alley yet, have they?
nope.
I feel like that's like a small scale. Like, this is like a spinny. I wonder. I feel like it's a turn.
I totally agree.
I'm scared.
The windmill is definitely amping up the flames, but at the same time, it's like I trust Universal knows how to play with fire. So
Well, it's funny because I had the same thought about the Phantom of the Opera Oregon in the dark ride. Because,
shooting 3-foot flames.
yeah, I was like, didn't we do this at Kong? It didn't go so well in the Kongfrontation. But
confrontation.
But the other side of the story, of course, is the Mummy, and they do flames on the ceiling, and it works out okay.
That is true. Mm-hmm. Universal knows how to play with fire for the most part.
They've made their mistakes in the past. But no, I'm so excited. Like, really, I'm excited about the whole thing. I knew I would be. Again, another land has been revealed to us, and I feel like it's the most anticipated land in the whole park. So now we knew Harry Potter was going to be last. I'm sure it's going to be amazing. I can't wait to see
Ministry
it.
of Magic we knew was going to be their grand finale. One more thing on the Burning Blade Tavern, and particularly the windmill. Orlando Informer points this out. It draws inspiration from the finale, appropriately enough, of the 1931 Universal film Frankenstein. So I think it's cool that throughout the land we're going to be able to see homages and tips of the cap to these classic Universal movies. Not only the monsters, but the movies that they come from. I think that's real.
Definitely. Yeah.
I think it'll bridge the generational gap, or like it'll tie it into like the origin of these, but also make it relatable for those that probably have never heard of, but don't really know much about these monsters, which I'm excited for. I love a good theme, I love some lore, I love a good lore.
I think it'll be so. One of the things I'm really interested in to see how they do like the kind of the strolling characters around there. Like they show a violin player. Like, can you just imagine walking around in there and you just hear like a lonely violin playing in the like? I don't know. It just all of it. I think they're killing it. They're killing it with everything that they're doing, and I'm just so excited. I'm so excited to see this thing come to fruition. And
they once again continue the tradition of sneaking Kenan Thompson into the artist concept renderings.
Yeah, what's up with that?
What's up with that? What's up with that? Universal. Good job.
That's so funny. He's going to be their
He's so random, but I love it.
Yeah. All right, Steffers, anything else for Universal this week? I mean, that was a lot.
No, I'm sure there'll be a Halloween Horror Nights announcement this week, so we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, keep your eyes open for that. And we'll promptly post it on the social medias in case you miss it everywhere else. But
exactly.
Before we wrap up the news, of course, we are the official podcast of SeaWorld Orlando. I just wanted to say this one thing, and then I'll skip the other thing for today because I want to get to our exciting third segment. But we do know that the Penguin Trek coaster is now officially going to open to the public on July 7th. And then those with annual passes will get early access starting July 2nd. So just in time to celebrate America's independence, you can go ride on this family-style coaster that will fly at 43 miles per hour, and you'll get to end at a penguin meet and greet, that's all Steffers really cares about.
That's literally all me, and I'm so excited to not even be able to go. But SeaWorld, if you are listening to your official SeaWorld podcast, I would love to, stay in that penguin room and then ride your penguin coaster with my penguin tattoo. Just saying. I also have a whole shelf of penguins behind me, but no one on camera can see that.
Nope. All I see is E.T. back there.
Quality.
Oh, I see Groot too. Okay.
You also see Mulan. She's right there.
I didn't know that was Mulan. All right. Well, that's going to wrap up the news portion for today. And we are not going to get out of here without delivering on a promise that we gave back a couple months ago, which was bringing back beloved segments. So today is going to be no different. And we're going to round out with everybody's favorite. It's the Landon special, Fastpass, Standby, Snack Break. Landon, take it away.
All right. So with the summer season officially kicking off this week and it being roughly 1,000,000 degrees for the majority of the country, let's cool off and take a dip with a water park theme edition of Fastpass, Standby, Snack Break. Now, if you've played before, if you haven't played before, let me do a quick refresher on how you play Fastpass, Standby, Snack Break. If you want to Fast Pass something, this is something you cannot miss, and you're booking a Fast Pass for it. If you're going to stand by something, this is something you want to do, and you're willing to wait in line for it. But if you're going to snack break something, you might go get a snack while your party does this, but you are cool, and you're going to hold on to the bags and purses while your party does this. So, for this soggy and soaked edition of Fast Pass, Standby, and Snack Break, we're going to talk about the two Walt Disney World water parks. We're talking Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon, but we only got two options when it comes to the House of the Mouse in water parks. So, we're making some history when it comes to Fast Pass, Standby, Snack Break. This is the first time that we're reaching across the Universal. So, your Fast Pass, Standby, Snack Break Water Park Edition is going to be Blizzard Beach, Typhoon Lagoon, and Universal's Volcano Bay. Now, again, your Fast Pass, Standby, Snack Breaking those three things. And you're going to do that either on the Monday Morning Monorail Facebook group. That's the Monorail Fam. You can put your answer there. You can get at us on the Monorail Fam Discord. We have a channel dedicated to that. Or you can get at us on the social media. You can get at me. You can get at Jay. I would say you can get at Steffers, but she doesn't read her Twitter anyway, so don't bother getting at Steffers on Twitter. We will be reading some of your answers on next week's episode of the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. We'll also be giving our answers. So one more time, your Fast Pass, Standby, Snack Break Water Park Edition is going to be Typhoon Lagoon, Blizzard Beach, and Universal's Volcano Bay.
This is going to be a struggle for Steffers, I think. Or maybe it's not.
Yeah, it's
It's
so
not.
going to be hard for Steffers.
It's not. Let's not lie to the listeners at home.
Well, leave them in suspense, Steffers. I mean, come on.
I'm so sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm so indecisive. It's going to be a real tough one. I will also just add, I've only been to 2 out of 3 of the ones on Standby Stand.
Yep.
Y'all know what I'm
Yep.
trying to say. Fastpass, Standby Snack Break. I got lost in the S's. I'm sorry.
I've only been to 1, but that hasn't stopped us in the past from giving our opinion of things. We haven't.
And I've been to none. So, yeah, that has never stopped us before. So
We're doing great, y'all. We're doing great.
But I'm sure that there are members of the Monorail fam out there who have experienced all 3. And so I would love to hear those opinions from those members. So get at us on the social media, just like Landon said, and you will all be our favorite members of the Monorail family when it's all said and done. But speaking of all said and done, this episode is all said and done now. So thanks for listening, guys. But before we get out of here, let's do a round of plugs. Stephers, what's going on with your podcast?
Whoa, that's me. I'm Stephers. Sippin' and Bitchin' new episode drops on Wednesday and Thursday. Our books are very long and we talk a lot, so we've been doing multiple parts for each book. So parts 3 and 4 are going to be out Wednesday and Thursday of this week, so you can catch up on the first 5 episodes in their entirety this week if you are feeling saucy and would like to just hear my voice multiple times a week. Highly encourage you to follow us on Instagram, Sippin' and Bitchin' everywhere, or you can just head to Adventures with Steffers on Instagram and TikTok and follow me from there because I link those pages on there. And this is also going to be an opportune time for Steffers to tease some upcoming teasers for our Living with the Landon extravaganza. So keep an eye out. If you're not part of our Facebook group, I highly, highly, highly recommend. Y'all will be getting a first look and first dibs on the t-shirt design. Well, the design period for Living with the Landon. And Instagram, follow us so that you can see the behind the scenes of everything that's gone into it. I've been working really closely with the guys and with Landon to perfect this for all of you.
Yeah.
So.
A lot of behind the scenes work going on, a lot of collabos going on with Landon and Stephers, meetings of the minds. And I think you're really going to like this t-shirt whenever it's finally unveiled to the masses. So thank you, Stephers, and thank you, Landon, for giving us an opportunity to raise money for a good cause as well. All right, Landon. What?
That was it.
Oh, okay. Time for Landon to sing his song. Do the thing.
LANDOZ, please go follow me, Landon Doan. I'm the best, Landon Doan, not the rest. That's who can follow me 280 characters at a time on Twitter. I also appear on the Phil Show, News Talk 98.7 WOKI, radio station locally here in Knoxville, Tennessee, streaming 6 to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time at newstalk987.com. Also available in the iHeartRadio app and the News Talk 987 app as well. We also post the podcasts wherever you get your fine podcasts. Search the Phil Show, News Talk 987. You can download and listen there as well if you miss out the opportunity on listening live. Steffers did mention Living with the Landon. That is going to be a fundraising opportunity on my 40th birthday of next year, April 1st, 2025, where I am turning 40. And to celebrate the opportunity, I'm heading down to Epcot and I'm going to ride Living with the Land as many times as I can. And in doing so, I am asking you, the lovely listener, to donate money, pledges for however many times I ride Living with the Land that day. You will then donate X amount of money to Second Harvest Food Bank of East Tennessee, and any money raised in that process is earmarked to be given to the Food for Kids program, where we will be able to help and feed needy kids in the East Tennessee area. In addition, Steffers did mention we are going to start rolling out and teasing the t-shirt design and where you'll be able to buy said t-shirt, and any proceeds raised from the t-shirt, raised from merchandise with this logo, will also go to Second Harvest Food Bank of East Tennessee. If you're not in the Monday Morning Monorail family Facebook group, highly recommend joining there, because you will be getting the first look there and you will learn where you can get the merchandise first. And like Steffers said, there will be an exclusive window for members of the Facebook group to get that. And that's going to be coming sooner rather than later. But also, in addition to the Facebook group, follow us on all the social medias. Follow us on YouTube. Speaking of Living with the Landon, we are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel so we can go live on April 1st, 2025 and share a ride along or two with you, the lovely listener, or I guess in that point, the vivacious viewer on the YouTube, as it were, on April 1st. And I've said it before and I'll say it again right here. Y'all are the best fans in the podcasting game. We love doing this. And part of the reason we love doing it is because y'all are on the other end of these microphones, these headphones. The fact that you give us a second of your time means the world. And the fact that you give us even more of your time, thank you so much. Every week, y'all come back and we come back for you. Love you. Talk to you next week.
Yep. Thank you, Landon. Wonderful cause. Be a part of it. Be part of this fundraising effort for the Second Harvest Food Bank of East Tennessee. And you know what? Just be part of the Monorail family. Stephers has now posted a permanent link in the Discord or in the Facebook so you can join the Discord. We've had a couple new members. Shouts out to y'all. So thank you for joining in that conversation, and thanks for being part of the Monday Morning Monorail fam on Facebook. But, you know, if you don't want to do those two things, you can follow us on Twitter and also on Instagram at Morning Monorail. I just want to give myself a shout out. I'm at Justin_Monorail, and I tweeted something yesterday that now has over 500 likes. I've done it. I've gone viral. I'm quitting my job, everybody. I'm doing
Good
this,
job, buddy.
doing the social media full time now. That's, I'm never going to see any money from doing any of this.
Out?
My group 1 accomplishment for Tron.
That got 500 likes.
It has 502 as we're speaking. Like, they just keep coming in. We're up to 503, 13 reposts, 4 quotes, and 8 bookmarks.
You should reply to that tweet that says, hey, all of you 500 people that have liked this tweet, make sure to go follow and subscribe to the Morning Monorail on YouTube.
I know. I told Stephers, I was like, of course this is something, I just tweet out something stupid and it gets 500 likes. I should have done it on the Monorail account. Unfortunately.
Social media doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I'm going to boost it.
All right. Anyways. Thank you all so much for all that you do. Thanks for being part of the Monorail family. Thanks for coming back here every week and listening. We love you so much. You're the best in the biz. And we'll be back here to do it again next week. And until then, thank a team member. Thank a cast member. Be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.